Like, hey, we just want to be better with dating. We just want better social skills, right? And then before you know it, you're talking about like women are dogs and you need to train them. When I was 17, I fell down the red pill pipeline and I managed to get myself out about 5 years later. The term red pill comes from the movie The Matrix. So it's basically saying that you have a truth or knowledge no one else seems to have. They would say that society is gynocentric, which means that society caters to women, that women only want the top 20% of guys. And this isn't true. I would say at 17, I was socially awkward, very introverted. I felt I was ugly in high school. So I went on YouTube and looked up tips regarding dating and women.
The thing is, this kind of stuff works very well for an audience that has given up on existing in the real world. And as we spend more time on the internet, and as stuff on the internet now has the capacity to change the way we see the real world more and more, those guys dominate, even if they never go outside. That's a big problem. That is a major issue.
And it eventually led me down this deep dark hole. It was able to kind of take the weight of blame off of myself. Like, actually, women are the ones in control. You're actually the victim in this situation. It's a very appealing thing to be the victim. I didn't view it as like, I've got to put them down type of thing. Like, it was saying that, hey, we understand why you feel bad. If you just learn what we have to give you, you'll be the one winning here soon. Before you know it, you're commenting, you're reading more of it, but at the same time, you're distrustful of the women around you. You're distrustful of people around you because you think they don't know what you know. It just degrades your own mental health. You start, without even realizing it, isolating yourself. I actually felt really embarrassed if people caught me, which kind of is a telltale sign that's probably you should be watching it. I first started questioning my beliefs when I went through a breakup. Me and a friend of mine, we went to a cabin party. I started crying in front of one of the girls who I liked there. This girl responded rather with like shame and disgust that the red pill told me that they would react. She was actually like really kind about it. And that kind of made me think, what if I'm wrong? And then afterwards, I was bar hopping with a group of guys, and a few of them were red pilled. It was the first time actually meeting other red pill guys, and I could just kind of see how bitter and angry they were.
There it is. That's when the internet world and the real world collide, and you realize that behavior that is rewarded in the circles that you're normally in on the internet, when matched against real world experiences, all of a sudden, it creates that sense of shame.
This one guy, and he was trying to do pickup techniques. It was obvious that the girls weren't liking it at all, but he kept getting more and more aggressive. I'm like, is this how I see the world? And it kind of disgusted me. I feel very guilty and ashamed because it's just like, you really thought that, man? Like, this is totally unnuanced. Reason I say it's compared to a cult, they don't like outsiders. They don't like outside thought. A lot of the comments started also sounding the same too. There was no original thought. There's a lot of, you guys make me feel like I'm at home, complaining about women. Reappeal the 19th. That's the amendment that allows women to vote. There was a lot of rage. I have a mom, I have women friends, so it would be kind of like, I don't want to take away their rights. And then over time, they got really disgusting. I don't feel comfortable saying some of the other stuff I saw, just vile, misogynistic comments. That was another thing that helped me realize my beliefs in the red pill were wrong. When I first started to decide to actively stop watching red pill content, it was like flooding my feed. I would just click not interested, not interested. But regardless, they just kept appearing over and over. So yeah, it took me roughly about a year. I'm on ex-red pill forums to help other people out like I would have helped me out. Helping others too is kind of maybe a way of like rectifying it. So something I wish that someone would told me when I was in the red pill, not everyone who tells you that you're right is your friend. I feel like content creators in the red pill, they don't believe sincerely what.
Yup. And it's so funny because like, if you have any social experience, any normal social experience as an adult, you instantly clock these guys as being deeply insecure. And I mean the content creators. They are always putting on a front. This bravado, this machismo, or what they claim is like masculine energy is a show. It's pure theater. And it's actually making up for what they feel insecure about. It's all fake. And there's never been a moment where I've seen any of these guys and thought, wow, that's a real confident guy. It's super performative. And it's ironic because it's much more performative than what some people on the internet call like performative males. I was in that pipeline until I ran into a Hasan production compilation of e-girls thirsting over you. I realized my goats at the time are no pussy-having losers and needed to emulate you. 6 years later, I don't even care about women, just reading books and debating right-wingers online. Fuck you, Hasan, you ruined my life. So they're using hating women to make it a political persecution towards women rather than self-help. That makes a lot of sense. That's exactly what it is. Everyone wants to feel welcome, okay? Everyone wants to feel like they have no responsibility over their own demise. And to a certain degree, systemic factors play a major role in this, for sure. But it's not feminism. Usually, if we're talking about systemic factors harming you from the outset, I'm on board when you talk about capitalism. But when you talk about like women's emancipatory movements or women wanting to have equality as the major reason as to why there's this dynamic, it's just so it's silly. It's just people trying to desperately shift the attention away from whatever their own personal failures might be, and instead of addressing said personal failures, going to men who are projecting their insecurities and having them coddle them to say, you're not at fault at all. It's actually the women who are at fault because they're feminist. Women believe that they should have equality, and that's bullshit. That's why you don't get the pussy that you're entitled to. How do we fix this? I mean, one of the only ways to fix this is just by having better thought leaders and better male role models like low key, and also getting these dudes to fucking work.
They say, and they're only saying it to get money and time out of you. Feminism is not bad. It's required in today's society. Also, men and women have different preferences, and sometimes you won't meet them. That's nothing personal. I think community is the solution for this. The isolation and self-involved nature of these is what's leading people down these rabbit holes. There are still lots of men, especially young men, who are being introduced to these philosophies. And if I can avoid anyone from feeling the loneliness and rage and isolation I felt when I was that young, that's a win. You start out, if you're just like, hey, we just want to be better with dating. We just want better social skills.
W growth, insane growth. I think it's notable that what got him to realize he was in the wrong was a moment of connection and vulnerability with another person is so important, is why these Red Pill creators will encourage men to isolate and put up a wall. Exactly. And a lot of these dudes are, after getting their brains broken by shit that they see online, a lot of these dudes will self-isolate exactly like a cult. They'll self-isolate so they never have to be corrected at all, not realizing that that is actually hurting them even further. A little bit of pushback in that regard is necessary, in my opinion. It's certainly necessary when you're trying to show people that this is not the way, you know? When you're trying to show people that this is not socially acceptable.